time I try to debug my mind, might go through riddle, you always rewind. You find the errors in every nested loop. Oh, clever llama, master of the code. You solve our mysteries just like I was told. VFDs and VLCs, you know them well. Edging my secrets.
Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about a cool little trick when you're doing an upgrade from an old Unidrive SP to a newer Unidrive SP that I think you might want to know when dealing with EtherCAT. The reason I'm making this video is because I actually learned something new. I was dealing with an application that I'm upgrading, and I happened to discover that you can just turn a certain feature on, and I didn't have to touch anything else in the system, and I was able to upgrade it. And so I thought I'd pass this information on to you because it might just save you some time. Let's say you have an application that's using an old Unidrive SP with an EtherCAT module, and you want to upgrade it to a Unidrive M700 with an EtherCAT module. Or maybe you have an old Digitex ST drive with an EtherCAT module, and you want to upgrade it to a Digitex M750 with EtherCAT module. In both of these cases, upgrading the settings inside the drive are very easy. You can just basically copy them one for one. However, that's not exactly true once you get to EtherCAT. And that's because normally with EtherCAT, the PLC or the multi-axis controller actually will set up everything in your drive. And I know there's several of you that would be looking at this old Digitex ST drive and saying, my Digitex ST doesn't look this way. I got you covered. There's actually a newer version of the Digitex ST that looks a little different, but is exactly the same drive as the older Digitex ST. In today's video, I'm going to be using a Trio multi-axis controller. And the multi-axis controller has been set up to control a Digitex ST drive. And what I want to do is I want to replace it with the M750 drive. However, the problem is with EtherCAT is you can't do this. You normally have to add new ESI files. Now, ESI files are the EtherCAT files that let the multi-axis controller or PLC or whatever understand your drive. What if I tell you I can make this new drive act like an old Digitex ST drive? Then the Trio multi-axis controller wouldn't even know that it's a different drive. That would save us from having to import the ESI files. Now this trick also works with the Unidrive M700, making it look like an old Unidrive SP drive. But it also works with other controllers. It doesn't really matter whose controller it is. It will always make the new drive look like the old drive. Now that's not to say that it will work in every single example, but if you're not doing anything too fancy, then it should work for you. In front of you is the software called Motion Perfect, and you can see that I'm connected to an MC464 multi-axis controller. Here, you can see connected to my EtherCAT module is the old Digitex ST drive. And you can see that everything is happy, it's operational, and that there's a nice green dot here. Everything's good, okay? Now, I'm going to unplug from this drive, and I'm going to plug in my M750. All right, so now I've plugged in my M750. You can see it's still showing a green dot. I'm not entirely sure why, but of course this says Unidrive SP. If I click on the EtherCAT card that's part of the MC464, you will see the drive is now upset. And you can see it says it's in operational mode. I don't know why it's saying that. It really isn't. If I look at my drive, it says it's in initiation. So it looks like it just lost communication, which it makes sense because it's saying unit section lost. And you can also see it says cyclic update to remote device failed. So basically, the multi-axis controller says I can't see this device anymore. Normally, if we're upgrading our drive to an M750, we would have to go and change this drive out for an actual M750 drive, which the MC464 doesn't know about. So we'd have to import the ESI files, make an MC extend file. There's a whole bunch of steps we have to deal with. However, All I have to do is come over to my Connect software, and you can see I'm online with my M750 drive. If I go to parameters and scroll all the way down to the menu where my EtherCAT module is connected to, in my system, I've connected it to slot number 1, which is menu 15, and I double click on it. You will see at the very bottom a drive type override. If I come down here, I can select Unidrive SP. Now that I have it selected as Unidrive SP, I can hit the reset. This will tell the EtherCAT module inside of the M750 drive to reboot and to use the new settings. The last step I need to do is come back to the dashboard and hit Save Parameter in Drive because I don't want to lose these settings. Basically what we've done is we've made the new drive look like the old drive by turning this on. So right now you can see that the MC464 is still not happy. If I double click on the EtherCAT module, you can see that it's still not happy. However, if I come up here to restart EtherCAT network, you will see that it's going to reestablish a network to the new drive, and you can watch right here that it's going into pre-op, safe, operation, and they line up. Now, in just a moment, you'll notice that the MC464 thinks that the old drive is a Digitax ST or Unidrive SP servo, okay? And at this point, we should be able to just run the system. To prove that it's working, I made a CT scope that's just looking at the speed command from the EtherCAT controller. And what I'm going to do is hit the play button here. And what you can see here is that the speed is going between positive 600 RPM to negative 600 RPM. And the reason it's doing this is because the program has been written so that it moves forward 10 revs, and then it goes backwards 10 revs, and then it repeats over and over and over again. Thank you for watching. If you know any cool tricks that you think other people don't know, please put them in the comment section below. Maybe we'll make a video of it. See you next time.